Right, so we've just got to that point where we put the rafters on, and I kind of explained I want to put the plinths in for the purlins next, which we shall do in the coming days. It's Friday afternoon, it's hot again, so we thought we'd finish a bit early. But before I do, what I wanted to do was, for my own sort of peace of mind I guess, is to just put a little drawing together of what how I want this finished roof to look. I want it to resemble how it was originally, having this section in here and pieces going up from each wall to the ridge and back down again, but rather than leaving this one in or replacing this one, we're going to put two in similar to this, equidistant at thirds across the room. This one's very close to the window, so it's not practical really, and obviously it's only about £1.70, I think, £1.60, so you know there's going to be some banged heads if we don't raise the height of that. So what I need to do is just put it on a piece of paper so I know exactly what I'm doing. I've got it in my head, but sometimes you need to have something sort of tangible that you can look at and say yes, that's how we're going to do it. So we're going to mock this up. We are going to do it on computer. We are going to use one of the bits of software or whatever it is. Becky's going to look into that and see if we can put, you know, more of a, I don't know, would it be 3D? No idea. Vision of how it's going to finish. Something more detailed and more accurate. But like I say, for my peace of mind, I'm just going to put it down on this piece of paper. I think it's an old invoice from something or other. At least then we'll know. Gives you an idea what we're going to do, and hopefully me as well. Oh. Yeah. What? You want some food? Yeah? Come on then. Help. Right, another hot week. Going to be 38, 39 all week really. Couple of cooler days, maybe a degree or two cooler, but today, Monday, 38, 39 this afternoon. Thought I'd come in here, do some more of these boards, hopefully get them finished. I've got about 20 long ones left to do. Me and Becky were in here Saturday afternoon for a few hours and got us way, you know, well worked through them. We've got probably 3/4 of them done now, 70, 80 of them done. We've got another 20 so to go. So I thought I would keep a little cooler, come in here, get the boards cleaned off and treated, bring the 30 or so that we did on Saturday back in, stack them up. If I get these out of the way, then we'll have a sweep up, set the trestles up level and bring in the wall boards that we took off from inside the house that made the basically stud walls, partition walls. I don't think they're really going to need treating. They're a different kind of wood, they're much more of a hardwood. They're showing no signs of damp or decay, so I think we'll be alright putting them in. And again, using the same technique, putting the lats in between and just, you know, making sure that we keep them nice and aired, nice and dry. So we'll crack on with this. Won't show you too much of it because you've seen it all before, but we'll do a bit and see where we get to at the end of the day. So I'll bring you in here. This board I'm doing now, it's not very good. Quite a lot of old worm and we can see clearly some active worm. I'm going to keep them, I'm going to clean them, I'm going to treat them because I've got plans for the boards that aren't great. Ordinarily we cut them up into pieces, put them on the fire, but we've got something that I'm thinking about doing down the line, so it'll be ideal for that job. We'll tell you more about that later on, as and when we get nearer the time. But yeah, the active worm, you can clearly see it. It's like dust, it's almost like flour, like beige flour. It's in a few of the pieces that are quite damp, you know. So we'll clean them up, brush them down, treat them, put them to one side, and I'm sure they'll be fine. And like I say, they'll be good for that job down the line, so they're going to get used one way or another. Right, so this afternoon's job, we're going to try and get this purlin in position. How I'm going to do it, I'm going to firstly at each end I'm going to wedge the purlin up, probably using some blocks of wood, something like that. Get it up in position, get it up at the angle it needs to be, so it's basically touching each of the rafters. Then we're going to use, once I've got it in position, we're going to use the 4 acro props that I've got stood in the corner over here, put them underneath to sort of equidistant points. I want to screw the acro props to the floor, so we'll put a batten down, put the acro props onto them, screw them down, and then on the top of the acro props, on the plate on the top of the acro props, I want to put some pieces of wood on with a cutout that matches the purlin angle, so then I can wind the acro props up, support the purlin where it needs to be, flush up against the rafters, take the wedges out at each end of the purlin, and then make a form and pour some cement onto the gable ends underneath the purlin, so it's that cement will shape around the purlin, and save me basically having to just kind of build it up and put an indentation in it and hope that it's in the right place. It will naturally, the cement will naturally surround the purlin, and the purlin will be sat where it needs to be. Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a process. It's going to take me most of the afternoon, I think, but we'll get on with it. So what you're about to see is basically what I've just explained that I'm going to do. So fingers crossed it goes okay. Right, it's a quick update. We've got the acro props in place. Just to refresh you, the reason I put these battens on the floor was because I didn't want to screw straight into the OSB. The screws are liable not to hold and take big chunks out of the OSB. So, hello. Alright. Oh, okay. Yeah, so we put these battens across and then screwing into the joist below the board. Once these battens on, then I can screw the base plate of the acro props onto these battens, and then what we'll do at the top on the purlin, I think if I'm correct in thinking, that the offcuts, the wedges, the bird's mouths, the wood that came out of the rafters should be the identical shape to put a wedge in underneath the rafter and on top of the top plate of the acro prop, and that'll give me flat surface for the acro prop to push up, and the angled part of the wedge will fit perfectly to the purlin. Now the purlin's on an angle, if you understand what I mean. I'll show you when I've got it all in place, but I'm hoping it should work out.
Right, so I finished mocking these up
Right.
with the 2 and the 1.
Okay.
I'm not sure which I prefer, to be honest.
Right, okay.
I was worried the 2 looked a bit busy, but I don't think it does now.
Alright, well, let's have a look.
This one's number 2.
Right, okay.
So I've spent a few hours this week taking Michael's rudimentary sketch and put it into SketchUp. It's the first time I've used it before, and I've only used the free one, but I've actually been quite impressed with it. It just gives us more of a 3D idea of how it's going to look, because Michael was talking about putting the 2 cross-section things, I'm not sure on the technical name, in, and we weren't sure if that was going to look a bit cluttered. Obviously this existing one is in a bit of a weird place, so I've put the 1 in here as well just to see what that looks like. I think looking at this, the 2 is going to work better. It looks nice, but see what you think. We'd love to hear your comments as well, because it's always good to get different perspectives and feedbacks. But yeah, with the 1 or the 2, I think we're going to lean towards the 2. But using SketchUp has actually been pretty good, and I think it's going to give us a good thing to work off. I mean, it's by no means perfect, and an architect would probably have a bit of a fit if he looked at it too closely. But yeah, it's been a good experience, and hopefully it's given us a good idea and you an idea of what we've got planned for this room.